So by now it should be pretty clear that hunting is a critical skill that you need to develop. These are in fact old skills. They used to be passed down from generation to generation. I really feel that now it's more important than ever that you begin that tradition again. So based on the last two videos, you should have seen that with a little guidance and direction, hunting doesn't have to be as overwhelming as some people make it out to be. For example, in the first video, you learned that by knowing what the individual indicators are for each of the animals that you're hunting, you can quickly determine where your prey is, and in some cases even be able to detect them well before they can detect you, as that first video demonstrated. In the last video you saw how Danny demystified a portion of what many feel is the most intimidating aspect of hunting, which is what to do with the animal once you've gotten it. And in that example, you again saw that it really isn't difficult, again, if you're clearly shown step by step what to do. So in this video, I'm going to change things up a bit, and you're going to see how the skills that you gain in hunting can go way beyond just putting meat on the table. You'll learn, for example, how they can in fact become the very tools that you will use to stay alive in a post-collapse situation, where violence and anarchy is very real. As an example of this, I'll also be demonstrating a piece of modern hunting equipment that will really virtually make you invisible and extremely dangerous to those who would seek to do you or your family harm during a post-collapse situation. But before I get to that, though, I just really wanted to quickly say thank you for the kind words and the comments that have come both my way as well as addressed to Danny. I also know a number of you in the comments have requested more information on the preservation of game animals, both on and off grid, as well as some of the more details around gutting and skinning. So if you can just hang on till the end of this video, I'll be addressing that. So ultimately, the skills that you learn in hunting go way beyond survival. It goes way beyond just even supplementing your current meat requirements. Now, I'm not just talking about the obvious health benefits of eating, for example, free range or really truly organic meat, or the health building benefits that come with being in the outdoors, being in the fresh air, out exercising, enjoying your solo time, or the camaraderie that comes with the group hunt. But what's often overlooked in hunting is that the skills that you learn carry over to a great many other areas that are extremely beneficial to preppers. For example, when you're hunting, you get practical hands-on experience in weapon handling and safety, in maintenance and function. You learn how to fire dynamically and under pressure. This is something you can't learn at your local range. For example, it takes some time to get used to firing on, not only just a moving, but a living target, and all the while your heart's pounding and you're short of breath. Hunting really teaches you how to control that breathing, how to fire under pressure and how to deal with that adrenaline dump and still be able to perform. Scouting, or hunting requires that you learn to look differently. The more that you're in the wilds, the more your eyes, your ears, your nose, and your other senses become better trained to pick out small disturbances and things that don't quite fit. This type of skill comes in real handy if you're on patrol or if you had to venture out to find resources in a post-collapse world. Being able to quickly point out what doesn't belong is something that hunting develops almost to the point of mastery. Tracking. So tracking is actually related to this as well. The more you pay attention to the baseline of your environment, the more you begin to see what's actually out of place. Tracking is a skill that trains your brain to see minute changes in this baseline, and it translates into many other areas of your life. Camouflage. So animals are actually very keen to the outline and shape of a human. Especially animals that really live by vision, such as like wild turkey. So if your camouflage isn't just perfect, then they'll quickly bust you and be gone before you know it. So hunting really teaches you how to blend in with your environment. And if you can escape the detection of something like a turkey, humans are going to be a piece of cake. Stalking is another one. Stalking is something that requires a lot of skill and patience. So when you're out on a stalk hunt, it teaches you to walk silently, how to see with your feet, all the while keeping your eyes up and scanning the environment. Again, this is a skill that would be a great help, while you're scouting, you're on patrol or reconnaissance, and all this type of thing in a post-collapse world. Ambush. So certain techniques in deer hunting, like in a group hunt, can teach you about the principles of ambushing. You know, how to funnel your prey into areas where they're most vulnerable. Orienteering is another one. You know, especially if you're in a forested or woodsy area where, you know, directions or landmarks are really difficult to ascertain. Learning to navigate is a crucial skill that applies to things that preppers might be called upon to perform. You know, like if they had to bug out or if they're scouting again. You know, so again, all these skills will easily carry over to a world where chaos rules. On the next clip, I want to show you an example of how modern hunting technology can have tremendous impact and applications in a post-collapse world. Hey guys, so this little piece of equipment is called the ghost blind, and it's what I demonstrated in the woods. Basically you can see that it has reflective panels in the front here that pretty much reflect whatever is coming from the ground onto its surface. And this piece of equipment here is, as you can see, has dual purpose. It is an excellent tool for hunting. The animals pretty much, you can have deer walk right up to you and they don't even see you as long as they don't smell you. You know, you're pretty much invisible. And even humans, if it's put into a proper place, like in the woods, where there's sometimes a little bit of brush in front and back, and it looks like it continues with that same kind of pattern that is on the ground, it is very, very effective. Now, the other thing too with it, it's not foolproof. As you can see, you can actually perceive the outline, and there's a contrast between the blind and the ground. And so again, it's not foolproof. There, especially on a really bright sunny day, sometimes it can reflect the sun and make weird light patterns on the ground. Again, for animals, you're pretty much invisible, but if you're going to be using this against man, they can perceive it. So you have to be a little bit more careful and put it in a place where ideally, again, there's some brush in front, and the continuation of that brush continues in the back. So you can see the different applications that the ghost blind would have in if it was a post-collapse type of situation where there was a lot of violence and anarchy and you needed to defend, let's say, a home or a retreat or somewhere. You could set this up in a place where you could observe the area that you're looking out and be able to perceive threats before they perceive you. Now in the film, again, I was within 10 yards of the camera and it's very difficult to see. Now obviously you can shoot someone 100 yards or more away and they're not going to see you at all, and you can easily have them within your sights. So obviously if you had a retreat and you had a permanent location, I would more recommend creating a natural blind that blends in better in the environment. But if you needed a hasty blind that is super quick to set up and that will conceal you very well, the ghost blind does an excellent job. And the other application that it would be really good for is bugging out. Now, sometimes in a bug out situation, you might not have the time to create a blind, or you might be in an urban setting where creating an urban type of blind would be a little bit more difficult if it was more out in the open. This type of ghost blind would be a perfect solution to that. Now obviously the ghost blind doesn't provide cover, it only provides concealment, but you could set up some type of cover behind the blind that you could shoot behind, so if someone did perceive you and shot through the blind, you'd still have protection. So let's take a closer look at the blind and see how it's made. You can see that it has these 4 reflective panels that reflect the surface that is in front of it. Typically these panels will sit at a sometimes 45 degree, up to a 45 degree angle or steeper, and they only go about, I believe it's 135 degrees total of cover. So you can see that's just a camel pattern in the back here. You can set up actually 3 of these blinds to make a complete 360 degree concealment blind for yourself. To disassemble this, it's really simple. It just folds in on itself. Again, it's super lightweight. This can be actually strapped to your back. They do sell an accompanying backpack that will fit this blind in. Again, it's really light. I'm holding it with one finger here. So another situation that you might find yourself in is if you'd like to hunt in a place where you'd like to be discreet. So in that type of situation, you couldn't set up a permanent blind, or else other people will know that you've been in the area or that you're hunting in the area. This type of blind, again, is very good for that purpose, and can be carried in and out of your hunting area very simply. So in the resources section below, I've also included a link to a YouTube video where this gentleman shows you actually how you can make these a lot cheaper than you can buy them. So if you don't have the money to buy one, or you're just handy and you'd like to make one, I put a link in there to that video, so check it out. So I hope you can see now how hunting has tremendous applications in a survival or post-collapse situation. And in general, I hope that all of these videos has been really helpful to you, and that you've come to a greater appreciation of really the important role that hunting plays as an essential skill, an essential survival skill that every prepper should develop. So if you're now ready to take it to the next level, I'm happy to tell you that Danny and I have put together a product that you're going to absolutely love. Not only is it the most complete end-to-end hunting product on the market today, it's actually also the only one that's catered specifically to the needs of preppers. It's an online product. It's going to, or does contain, over 5 hours of high-definition video where Danny demonstrates in detail everything you need to know to become a successful hunter. For example, you'll learn the different tactics of how to hunt various small and large game, how to skin and gut each of these various types of animals, how to butcher them, if it's a bird, how to pluck them or prepare them for roasting, and prepare them in general for the table, as well as how to preserve them for the long term using both on the grid as well as off the grid methods. In addition, you'll learn how to modify your hunting tactics in a post-collapse situation. Now, these methods that Danny explains actually are so powerful, in fact, it will be more like your grocery shopping than hunting. You'll be given thorough instruction also on recommended supplies and gear, on various types of firearms, the different types of game that they're good for, as well as silent options. You'll also learn the fundamentals of proper shooting technique. You'll learn how to shoot in various environments and in different positions, basically everything from field to plate and beyond. Best of all, it's a very unique product in the sense that it will be an evolving one. While we do feel it's extremely thorough, Danny and I both recognize that, we may not be covering everything that everyone wants. So there will be a suggestion box on the site where you can send in recommendations based on, things that you'd like either better clarified, maybe something just didn't make sense, or even refilmed if it wasn't clear, or maybe something that you really want added that's not included. So from these suggestions, we'll be tallying these, and when there's a certain threshold of people requesting the same thing, Danny and I will actually add that. So obviously we can't cover every animal that's in every environment or even every hunting situation, but in this product there is a solid enough diversity of animals that will be universal for most everyone. And in fact, many of the tactics that you learn for one animal, you'll actually be able to easily apply to others as well. So ultimately, we really want it to become your product and your go-to resource for survival hunting. So this is basically how it's going to work. In the next couple of days, I'll be sending out an email announcing that the product is live and ready for purchase. And since it's not yet available to the general public, as part of this initial launch to my subscribers, I'll be offering it at a big discount. Again, this discount will only be available during this initial launch. So after I release it to the general public, the price is actually going to be going up. So if you want to get in on this, jump on it as soon as you can. Jump on it during this time. So again, feel free to leave any comments or questions, especially if you have any product-specific questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. And so again, guys, stay safe, and thanks for watching.